Tonight, love it or loathe it, it's London's latest link. The Silvertown Tunnel is officially open. It's the capital's newest road across the Thames in 60 years, linking Greenwich and Silvertown. It's also an impressive piece of engineering, but not everyone's a fan.
The margins are getting smaller and smaller. The operating costs just seem to be going up. Customers are going to resist it.
Cyclists don't like to stop. I'm not sure how many cyclists are going to stop and wait for a bus that goes every 12 minutes. That's the worry.
Yeah, one of the biggest complaints is that the tunnel wasn't built with cyclists in mind. So our reporter Rags grabbed his bike to take a look. Also tonight, the father campaigning for change after his nurse daughter died from sepsis, and
I hope you're feeling nostalgic because we have got some assembly bangers for you. Take it away, James.
Here we go. Give me oil in my lamp, keep me burning.
Good evening. It's been the subject of many political and environmental debates in London the past few years. But today, the Silvertown Tunnel opened for business, with the Mayor Sadiq Khan hoping it will help tackle congestion and pollution in parts of South London. Now, it links Greenwich to Newham and comes at a cost of more than £2 billion. Drivers will foot the bill through new charges, and anyone hoping to dodge the cost by using the nearby Blackwall Tunnel, you'll have no luck there, as you'll face tolls on that tunnel too. The huge project has been more than a decade in the making and is London's first Thames Road tunnel in almost 60 years. Sadiq Khan will be pleased today's opening went to plan, although traffic was quieter than usual because of the Easter holidays, of course. But not everyone's as happy as the Mayor. Some are worried about the impact on the local area, and businesses are worried about the impact the toll price will have on them. Here's our political correspondent, Simon Harris.
The Silvertown Tunnel in East London is now open in both directions, but there is a toll charge for both the new tunnel and also the Blackwall Tunnel. And on the trains,
the radio traffic bulletins were the only fanfare for the first new Thames road crossing in more than 30 years. The Silvertown Tunnel was built to ease pressure on the often congested Blackwall Tunnel and make life easier for drivers in East London.
One of the most unreliable crossings in the country, the Blackwall Tunnel, closed on average 700 times a year, every 5-minute closure. Leads to a 3-mile tailback. They can now get across much quicker, much more reliable. Great buses now, 21 buses an hour.
But drivers using both tunnels have to pay a toll, and that's putting a squeeze on businesses like this waste haulage firm in South East London. It estimates the annual cost of serving customers north of the river could run to more than £300,000.
We can't afford to absorb that cost. Of course you can't. The margins are getting smaller and smaller. The operating costs just seem to be going up. Customers are going to resist it because they're going to say to us, look, you guys are based in South East London. We'll have to use a company that's that side of the water.
Bexley Heath Academy is also feeling the impact of the new road charges.
I've got 2 staff members that are going to be resigning for next academic year, and that's because they do not want to be paying the additional charges to come to work, and I totally understand that.
At peak times, car and van drivers will pay £4 to use the tunnels. Lorries will be charged £10. The highest charges apply during the morning rush hour northbound and the evening rush hour southbound. But between 10 o'clock at night and 6 o'clock in the morning, both tunnels are free. Clean Air campaigners who tried to stop the new tunnel believe that's a mistake.
They say that they're going to keep traffic down with tolls, but the traffic is HGV traffic. All the traffic is free at night, and there are HGV lanes. So it's a depressing day in a climate and clean air crisis.
This was a soft launch at the start of the school holidays and in the early hours to avoid putting the new tunnel under too much pressure. The Mayor celebrated the opening with a bus ride. His opponents couldn't resist a dig.
I think it's a real surprise today. We've got this new crossing open, first a road crossing of the Thames for over 50 years. Should be, a ribbon-cutting event. The Mayor should be here, excited about this. It did start under Boris. I don't know if that's why he's a bit embarrassed by it, but for me, it's a great thing to have a new crossing.
The Mayor's decision to greenlight a new road tunnel put him at odds with environmentalists. They claim Londoners in 2 of the capital's poorest boroughs will be exposed to more pollution. He says the opposite is true, arguing the end of traffic jams at the Blackwall Tunnel is in keeping with his mission to clean up London's air. Simon Harris, ITV News, Silvertown.
Well, one thing missing from the new tunnel is a cycle lane, which means anyone with a bike has to wait for a special bus. For now, the shuttle service comes free of charge, but that may not last. The capital always has had ambitions to be a greener city, but critics say cycling feels little more than an afterthought. Here's Rags Martel.
London claims to be a cycling city. But with the opening of the new £2 billion tunnel, it's completely useless if you're on two wheels.
So can I cycle through in the tunnel? No. I can't. If you're on a bicycle, this is about as close as you get to the new Silvertown tunnel, because if you're on this, they don't let you in.
So instead of getting on your bike, you have to get off it and wait for a bus that shuttles you under the tunnel.
Would you rather be able to cycle through the tunnel?
Yes, definitely.
Is it a shame you can't do that?
Yes, it's a big shame.
The Benelux tunnel in Holland has a separate cycle tunnel, so it'd be good if you could do that.
Do you wish you could cycle across the tunnel and not use the bus?
To be honest, I would consider it quite dangerous for me. I think, yeah, I'll prefer to use the bus.
Unlike motorists, cyclists travel free of charge on the Silvertown shuttle bus, a freebie that's guaranteed until next year. And with the bike secured in one of the 8 spaces, the journey takes around 12 minutes, but cycling campaign groups feel they've been left behind.
How disappointing is it that cyclists can't actually use the tunnel while cycling?
Yeah, look, cyclists don't like to stop. I'm not sure how many cyclists are going to stop and wait for a bus that goes every 12 minutes. That's the worry. We should have been able to cycle through with a cycle path. The Silvertown tunnel is all about cars and HGVs, really, unfortunately.
It feels like an add-on. It feels like a bit of an afterthought. And if they'd really wanted to make a green tunnel, they would have designed in walking and cycling and public transport from the very outset.
Remarkably, this isn't London's first cycle tunnel service. When the Dartford tunnel opened in 1963, 5 double-decker buses were made. These had room for 23 bikes, but the service was abandoned after a couple of years as no one used it.
I thought we were supposed to be a cycling city where, you can cycle everywhere. This proves you can't.
We're very much a cycling city, and cycling is encouraged across all of London. I think from a safety point of view, we really want to do the right thing for everyone, and we think this is the safest way of getting people across the river.
Well, it's 12:30 now and the service has only been running for 6 hours, but already I'm the only one on the bus.
For a service that's costing TfL £2 million to run, this is one expensive empty bus. Rags Martel, ITV News, at the Silvertown Tunnel.
So whether by car, lorry or bike, we've got a new way to cross the Thames. Let's take a close look then at what it took to build it. So getting material to and from the Silvertown Tunnel was a massive challenge, with nearly 2 million tonnes transported via the river instead of using roads. The boring machine was named Jill, after London's first female bus driver, which in a UK engineering first cut out the tunnels in both directions. The deepest section goes 8 metres below the riverbed in the middle of the river. And there's more room inside compared to the neighbouring Blackwall Tunnel, with Silvertown measuring up to 3 metres wider at just over 11 metres. Well, Simon Harris has joined us in at the studio. And Simon, it really is quite a feat of engineering, isn't it?
Yes, digging any tunnel under the Thames is a huge engineering challenge. And this one was finished on time and didn't go over budget. Now, in the recent history of infrastructure projects in London, that really is quite unusual. Of course, drivers are going to have to pay the cost, the £2.2 billion cost of building the tunnel and maintaining it until 2050. And as we've heard, that's controversial. Also, those free bus fares, whether it's on the bike bus or for ordinary bus users, they're only going to be free, guaranteed for the first 12 months. So after that, they could change.
All right, Simon, thanks very much. OK, in other news tonight, the father of a student nurse who died after a 12-hour wait at the hospital where she worked said he hoped talking about her story might save lives. Zoe Bell from High Wycombe arrived at Stoke Mandeville with what she thought was a bad bout of flu. Staff were working flat out in the busy period before Christmas, and she was not considered a priority despite her boyfriend pleading for help. Zoe's condition deteriorated further and she later died from sepsis. The hospital has since changed the way it assesses patients, as Antoine Allen reports.
We used to say we loved each other every day, every time we spoke. So she knew that.
Zoe Bell died before becoming a qualified nurse. Months before her graduation, she became ill. When she needed emergency care, she had to wait 12 hours before she was properly diagnosed. By that time, even the slim chance to save her life was gone. Her death at Stoke Mandeville Hospital started her father's quest to find out what happened to his 28-year-old daughter.
I wrote to Bucks NHS Trust when I knew this investigation was underway, and I listed all the questions. And one of the questions I had was, what was the tipping point? Was there a tipping point whereby, had there been the right intervention with Zoe, would she have been saved? Would it have been before she arrived at hospital, or would it have been, when she arrived, or would it have been 7 in the morning or 10 in the morning?
Zoe had been feeling unwell due to flu for a number of days prior to visiting A&E 2 days before Christmas in 2022. The coroner's inquest into Zoe's death found that she died from natural causes, but Stoke Mandeville Hospital had learning to do. Zoe arrived at the hospital just after 10 p.m, complaining of chest pains. Despite her worsening condition and her boyfriend's pleas for help, she didn't receive an X-ray until 7:32 the following morning. It then took nearly 3 hours before the X-ray was assessed, which led the hospital's intensive care unit to desperately try to save Zoe's life. Heartbreakingly for Zoe's family, 20 hours after the future nurse arrived at hospital, she was pronounced dead at 6:45 p.m. Christmas Eve.
Respect the decision. We don't have to agree with all elements of it. We were fortunate enough to flush out all the information, I think, which give us a lot of the answers. But there is unknowns there because of the missions in care.
Buckinghamshire Healthcare NHS Trust told ITV News they offer their condolences to Zoe's family and friends, and since her death the Trust has made improvements to their emergency care pathways. Zoe died from sepsis. Her family hope the lessons learned from their loss can help hospitals identify young people masking just how much they desperately need care and life-saving attention. Antoine Allen, ITV News.
2 16-year-old boys have been charged with the murder of a teenager who was stabbed in West London. Kieran Charles, who was 17 and from East Acton, died in Shepherd's Bush on Saturday afternoon. Paramedics tried to save him, but he died at the scene. And 2 men have been jailed for 13 years between them for laundering more than £6 million. Valery Popovich from Sunbury-on-Thames and Vitaly Lutsak from Cheshunt used criminal money to buy vans and lorries to sell to Ukraine. As spring temperatures continue to climb, police are warning about the dangers of open water swimming. It comes after a 15-year-old boy died in a lake in Beckenham, while an 11-year-old is still missing after entering the Thames. Well, Cafe Pater is by the Thames in central London for us. Kath, this is a really important reminder, isn't it?
It really is, Charlene, and like you said, it comes after 2 children in 2 weeks entered rivers or lakes. Isaiah Smith died last Friday after swimming in a lake in Beckenham Place Park. Now, the park has reopened, but the area surrounding the lake remains closed. Throughout today, people have been laying flowers in tribute to the 15-year-old. That same week, Kalia Koa entered the Thames after she'd been playing near one of the causeways in Woolwich. A search is still ongoing to find her. Now today, the Met's Marine Police Unit issued a statement. They said, open water may appear calm and inviting, but it can be dangerously deceptive. Strong currents, sudden drops, hidden hazards, and cold water shock can affect even the strongest of swimmers. Once a person is in the Thames, for example, they will almost definitely struggle to keep afloat or in control. Charlene, often warnings like these are issued later on in the year during the summer months. But as you can see today, we've got bright, sunny, even slightly warmer weather, especially for April. That's why the Met have issued this warning now. They want people to exercise safety and caution, especially as the winter cold melts away.
Right, thanks very much, Kath. Still to come on the programme. The West End show going from stage to screen. We find out our fans can't get enough of the smash hit musical 6, and
we are going on a trip down memory lane, back to school. James, you know what to play.
Here we go. All things bright and beautiful, all creatures great and small.
Oh, she had the time of her life with that one. But first, when it comes to celebrating the very best of British theatre, there's no bigger night than the Olivier Awards. The star-studded event at the Royal Albert Hall saw a 5th award for Dame Imelda Staunton and a 1st award for American actor John Lithgow. And with a staggering 13 nominations, all eyes were on the revival of Fiddler on the Roof. So how did they get on? Well, here's Carolyn Sim.
In London's Royal Albert Hall, they celebrated the best of theatre, the old and the new. And this year, some of the biggest accolades went to industry veterans.
John Lithgow.
John Lithgow won Best Actor for his role in the play Giant, where he portrayed author Roald Dahl, who was accused of anti-Semitism. But it was a different political issue he wanted to address in person.
It's not always easy to welcome an American into your midst, and at this particular moment, it's probably a little more complicated than usual.
Leslie Manville.
Another giant of the theatre won Best Actress, 69-year-old Leslie Manville, for her performance in the Greek tragedy Oedipus.
While we were doing Oedipus, my son and his wife had a baby. Ottilie, one day, this will definitely be yours, my sweet.
Speaking this morning, Leslie called for more funding for the arts to keep the ailing industry alive.
Investing in London theatre means that there are shows that will then go on from London to tour around the UK, and that's brilliant for those local communities.
And to prove that theory, The Fiddler on the Roof, a Regent's Park open-air theatre production, won Best Musical Revival. Imelda Staunton won Best Actress in a Musical for her performance in Hello, Dolly.
Mum, I'm here at the Albert Hall. I've got a prize, but more importantly, I'm about to do a play with your granddaughter.
It was seasoned actors who stole the show, but the talent pool proved our love of theatre is timeless. Carolyn Sim, ITV News.
Well, our guest tonight was there last night, Amy Atkinson from Six the Musical. We're not here to talk about last night, but I'm going to ask you about it anyway, because your fiancé, Benjamin Button, won for the John Dalglish won for Benjamin Button,
yes,
didn't he? Was
did.
it an amazing night?
Oh, it was so special. It was so magical. It's his 2nd time winning, so this was crazy. And Benjamin Button is just such a beautiful show, so I'm so proud of him.
Well, congratulations to both of you.
Thank you.
Your cause are here to talk about Six the Musical, which has just been a smash hit, and it's returning. You're returning into the production because it's going to be on film. Let's take a look. So let's explain how this is working, because you were part of the original West End cast, and this has been going for 8 years. I still can't believe it started on Edinburgh Fringe. It's incredible. And you've all reunited to do a film production of Six the Musical. So what was it like getting the gang back together?
Oh my gosh, what an experience. Like, the journey that we've been on with that show, like you said, it's nearly 8 years now. To come back together and just getting those costumes again, it was such a wonderful, wonderful time. I love those girls so much. They've become my family, so it really was kind of like coming home.
And it's life-changing for you ladies, because you know, it's an original musical, an original score, and it's not often that those original musicals blow up in the way that it has internationally, is it?
No, I mean, this is the dream, to go from something, like you said, at Edinburgh Fringe and to see it through, you know, to now being on screen is just, it's what you dream of, and I feel so lucky to have been a part of it.
So how does it work? So is it the exact stage version, just with cameras filming everything that's happening on stage?
It is, but I have to say, I've seen a lot of sort of pro shots of musicals, and there's something about this, it's filmed so well. It looks like a music video. It's so beautifully done. And there's a couple of little sneaky little things in there that the fans will be very, very happy about. So I can't wait for people to see it.
Now, talking about the fans, was it quite a difficult junction for you guys to make, going from, what was, just a regular stage show, which then blew into this huge phenomenon? Was that quite difficult for you guys to deal with when it came to the fans? Because the fans love it.
Oh, I mean, they've been amazing. They are Six the Musical. We call them the Queendom. And the support that we have in everything we do, and also going forward into our own sort of solo projects as well, like they are with us the whole way. So yes, you're right. At first it was quite overwhelming because we felt like we were suddenly like pop stars, but it's a joy to have them on this journey with us.
Yeah. What do you think it is about Six the Musical that just captivates audiences? It's amazing.
I know. I get asked this question so much, and I'm trying to get my head around it. I think it's something to do with its relatability. These women's stories, even though it's hundreds and hundreds of years ago, they're still so relevant and relatable today. But also just couple that with amazing music by Toby Marlowe, Lucy Moss, Gabby Slade's costumes, Carrie Ann's awesome choreography. It's magic. It's just all come together, and it's just
And
beautiful.
how's your life changed since you're in it?
Well, so many ways. It's just opened up a whole new world. People who had no idea who I was now know. It's so strange.
And you're releasing your own music?
I am, yes. So I'm releasing my album this year, June 20th, and our first single comes out next week on Friday.
Amazing.
And actually the first single I have recorded with Natalie Paris, who was Jane Seymour in Six the Musical. So it's another little nod to the show. And again, I can't wait for people to hear it.
And it reiterates just what a family that you guys are who took part in this show.
Yes.
Oh, Amy, it's been such a joy to meet you. Thank you so much for coming in, and good luck with the single and album launch.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Now, music stars don't come much bigger than Sir Elton John, who's spoken exclusively to our arts editor, Nina Nana.
Are you ready to record?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
Why do you think I'm sitting here?
From tantrums to triumphs, cameras caught a rare behind-the-scenes glimpse of what it's like to work with Pinner's famous pop star. He's teamed up with Grammy Award-winning Brandi Carlile for his new album ahead of the London Palladium performance being broadcast on ITV on Easter Sunday. He told Nina this was his most challenging album yet.
This album for me sounds fresher than anything I've done for a long time. And it was because I had a lot of fear going into it, a lot of doubt. I wasn't feeling very well, but in the end, the anxiety all made us. The anxiety pushed the energy forward, and that's what I get out of this record. Even though there's a couple of 2 or 3 beautiful slow songs, the energy on this record is off the charts.
Yes, that's available to watch on Easter Sunday, and you can watch Nina's full interview with Elton John right after this.
Coming up on tonight's evening news, turbulence and turmoil for global markets following Trump's trade tariffs. Also, the formal launch of the inquiry looking to what lessons can be learned from the Southport murders. And behind the scenes with Sir Elton for his latest and most challenging album to date. Join me for those stories and more at 6:30.
OK, school may well be out for Easter, but Sally's here to talk assembly songs.
Oh, well, did you like Assembly?
I love the Assembly songs, and I still remember them, weirdly.
If I said to you, shine, Jesus, shine, where does that take you?
I'd need to hear the rhythm and the melody first before I remember.
Give me oil in my lamp.
Give me oil in my lamp. Keep me burnt. Yeah!
Well, I think this is one of my favourite stories. It's definitely up there in the top 3 that I've ever done. I met a fantastic London teacher who, during lockdown, posted videos of the Assembly bangers online. And
Assembly bangers? OK.
It's a catchy phrase. And they took off. And now he's done Glastonbury, he's got a tour around the country. And of course, I went to meet him. It was a joyful day. Brace yourself, there's a fair bit of singing in this. Here we go.
Should we try one of the biggest assembly bangers of all time called Give Me Oil in My Lamp?
Let's do it.
Okay.
If there was ever a story made for me,
Give me oil in my lamp, keep me burning.
this was it.
Dance then wherever you may be.
Belting out assembly bangers, London music teacher James B. Partridge, and now me.
Who put the colours in the rainbow?
James started putting assembly song TikTok videos up during COVID.
He's got the whole world in his hands.
And he went viral.
So you had a great lockdown.
Well, I did.
Yeah.
My neighbours probably didn't enjoy it as much.
I would have been a good neighbour for you.
You would have been great. You would have been round with the recorder and the guitar, you know.
Oh, you know me so well.
Singing along to Kumbaya.
For a certain era, this hymn book was amazing.
Autumn Days, number 5, I think it is.
Autumn Days.
Yes.
Oh, bring it on.
No one mustn't forget. No one mustn't forget.
James has gone from TikTok to Glastonbury. And the West End, taking the audience back in time to school assembly.
This is the moment in the day when nothing had quite gone wrong yet. So it's in the morning, so you hadn't been told off yet, you hadn't had detention.
He's transported back in time both students and teachers.
Ex-head teachers come up to me and say, oh, I was a head teacher for 30 years and this has brought back all the memories. And I said, hopefully good memories. And they said, yes, yeah, on the whole, you know.
On the whole.
Yeah.
Apart from little Johnny.
Yeah, exactly. We don't talk about Johnny. He's still in the cupboard.
The only change is that his audience is more likely to have had a G&T than a bowl of cornflakes.
I mean, there are still people that I need to say, right, fingers on lips, you know, and it's your own time you're wasting, so...
What are the other ones? What are the other expressions?
So I say, all eyes on me, all eyes on me, and I've had to crack up the teacher clap as well a couple of times, which is... And then everyone has to clap it back.
Yes!
Because then that'll get everyone focused. Shine on me. One more time, let's do it. Shine, Jesus, shine.
Not just a banger, that's a belter.
I say it was basically our school assembly equivalent of Sweet Caroline. It's also quite a similar song. Sweet Caroline. Ba, ba, ba. Quite a similar vibe.
James will be at the Soho Theatre for 5 nights this month with a show that's gone from the classroom to the country through music and memories.
There we go. Shine, Jesus, shine. That was my #1 school assembly banger.
You were having the time of your life.
Oh my goodness, that interview was so long. We spent most of it singing.
I loved it. Do you know what? It's a really lovely trip down memory lane.
It was, wasn't it? And do you remember that clap?
Do you know what, though? You've got loads of children be watching us right now who are off school for the Easter holidays that probably don't want to be reminded of the teacher's clap.
No, sorry about that.
Yeah,
but
really
they're
sorry.
so lucky because they have got the most unbelievable weather. I hope you're enjoying it. Here we go.
ITV London weekday weather is sponsored by Octopus, the renewable energy company.
Hello again. I hope you had a lovely start to the week. Looks like these two little lovebirds did. I'm not actually sure that's decent for this time. Let's cover them up. There we go. That's better, isn't it? Right, sunny skies as we go through this week. We have got cold nights, though. And just a heads up, on Wednesday and Thursday, could be a little bit cloudy to start the day. But on the whole, the weather is decent. However, if you are feeling scratchy, itchy, even sneezy, we have got very high levels of tree pollen at the moment from ash and birch. So apologies if that's affecting you. Right, a nice way to end the day, those lovely clear skies. Overnight, we could get a little bit of mist and fog in a few areas, and you can see a few little frozen patches there indicating just some pockets of frost in those real rural cold spots. So watch out for that first thing tomorrow morning. However, for most of us, it probably won't be too bad, but it will be cold. A bit of early cloud as well, perhaps south of the Thames, but that mist and fog and any cloud should disappear as the day gets going. We've got a bit of hazy sunshine at times, but otherwise a really nice day, bright with long sunny spells. Highs of 15 to 17, so probably a degree up tomorrow. But once again, that easterly still coming in up the Thames estuary and making that coast and the Thames a bit colder. So as we go into the evening, starts off nice, any of that haziness disappears, but overnight into Wednesday morning, you can see that cloud coming in off the North Sea. So Wednesday and Thursday, particularly the further east you live, will probably start off a bit cloudy, but as the day goes on, it should burn back to the coast, giving us hopefully a nice bright afternoon afternoon. And then into Friday, more sunshine and the temperatures coming up as well. That's it for now. See you later on. Cheerio.
Octopus Energy sponsors ITV London weekday weather.
Well, that's it from us. Evening News is next with Lucrezia. But from all of us on the team, enjoy the rest of your evening. Bye-bye.